It is week number 5 of stage 3 of the Quake Pro League. Welcome back, everyone who's been watching so far. Thanks for sticking with us. If you've just joined, you're in for a treat. It's going to be Maestro vengeuR versus Navi cypher. It's really is a clash of some real Quake champions, Titans at this stage. My name's Ketchup, as always, and I'm joined by Lethal today for the commentary action. And we have the picks and bans ready to go pretty much as soon as. I believe both players are in this lobby. Just going to confirm they should be ready soon. And it's going to be, once again, bit of a mixed bag, but I think there's a lot more we can say, like traditional picks coming from both of these players. We can see the Blood Run first, Awoken, and then Molten Fools. It's going to be Nyx versus Slash, Ranger versus Doom, and then Strog versus BJ for the final map.
I'm a little bit surprised, actually, to say the least, because cypher's very good on Blood Run, very good at Molten Falls as well, and both of the map picks have actually slipped in. So I'm wondering if vengeuR does actually want to play those maps as well, even though, or maybe hasn't done too much prep in terms of what maps cypher's actually good on. Because every time he plays Blood Run or Molten Falls, he's very good. It's definitely some of his strongest map picks, but vengeuR's actually let them through. I wasn't expecting either two of them, let alone one, but I thought to myself, maybe Blood Run won't pull through, but maybe Molten Falls will, but it has done. So I am quite surprised that you had the Nyx versus the Slash on the first one. With Awoken, it will be the Ranger versus the Doom. And in the third one, the Molten Falls, we've got the Strog versus the BJ. We're seeing a lot of BJ on Molten Falls recently.
We are. It's the damage more than anything else, just like the ability to trap people and ambush and stuff like that. We're seeing a little bit. But yeah, on the subject of maps coming through, vengeuR is a player that definitely plays the board. So even if a player is really strong on a map, vengeuR is definitely the kind of player that will kind of look at it and go, well, you know what? I think I'm pretty strong on that map too. So there's a lot of confidence that oozes through vengeuR. You know, our youngest competitor in Quake Pro League really kind of embodies that rising star kind of player in Quake, where he's just Quake has been his passion all the way through. Finds himself now playing against like the best players in the world. Turns out he totally is one of them as well, which has to be pretty surreal. But he's talented. vengeuR is incredibly talented, and the grind never ends for him. Hard to call this matchup, to be honest with you. I think they are very evenly matched in skill for Quake champions. cypher has a lot more legacy, but vengeuR has a lot more immediate success, so we'll see how we go. Blood Run.
Yeah, this should be a tasty one to say the least. I've been showing it before to see what he can do. vengeuR on the back foot just a little bit for the time being, but he's waiting for cypher to drop down, and he does, but he's only on 47 HP. Just barely gets out the Ghost Walk, but face him out anyway. And just get amount of damage done, just barely misses that rail, and cypher so weak at this stage. It was very lucky to get away, but my word, we're going to be on for a slobber knocker here, I think, Ryan.
Both players, I think, really trying to establish that they do not fear each other, you know, and it's not that I don't respect you, it's that I'm not afraid to push and really try and just strong arm my way into some of these items or whatever it might be. Not afraid to fight. That's a lot of damage that cypher took, but it's the kind of damage you can afford to take. You know, you have to look down near the rocket. There are those 2 small health bubbles you can take on the way down, so even if you take damage on the way, you can stop the bleeding just a little bit. Oh, good rails. vengeuR only just not railable and dropping down. Good rail. That's enough to force cypher on the back foot. Cannot stick around and try and get some free damage. But now the next play, it's going to be heavy. What's the call? vengeuR, minimal damage trying to jump down, so it's actually not the end of the world for him. The cypher sees that as the green light to go in, the missed rail. That was more of a rail that was, if he just so happens to go down there, it will work. If not, just to shut it down. Both players, this like battle of light, this idea where any kind of fight can go pear-shaped at any moment.
It really can, though. He had to give up that heavy, but the main thing was the amount of LG damage he did to cypher. cypher could easily just pull back, but just watching vengeuR for the time being, he's just bottom mid on the mega right for the time being. He's just trying to see what he can do and just waiting for him to try and peek out, but he has to wait because cypher's on such a huge stack, but not anymore, as he's done enough damage to try and at least push around and possibly catch him off guard once again, but he won't because vengeuR's taken that rail and managed to bait him out and leave him to be for the time being. So vengeuR managed to stay alive for the time being again. But what's his next move going to be? cypher could catch him off guard. He's got the info, just barely misses the rail. But vengeuR's got to be super careful of what he's going to do, because right at this point, his stack is so weak, but what he's doing, the cypher is taking so much damage away. I'm so surprised he managed to stay alive only on 2 HP.
vengeuR has just been on a lifeline for so much of this map. I feel like for 2.5 minutes he's been on death's door, but oh, hang on. There is some immediate tri-bolt, but yeah, cypher, enough of these games. He's going to press in, steal away a frag, and the thing is, he's weak now. That plasma trail being used to just heal up as fast as physically possible, I do not blame him for doing it. But just like that, that's the speed of which Slash can bring herself back into the matchup. Plenty of armor to work with. The rocket didn't hit its mark, really, so there wasn't much information for vengeuR to work with, denying the light. That's a great step. vengeuR has nothing, no armor. And springs a trap. Unfortunately, he doesn't want to be point blank, and he's been forced to give up. Light. Ghostwalk reappeared. No doubt cypher heard that one. It's crazy to think. This has been a 1 frag map, Lethal, yet it has been so fast.
Yeah, it's just the mobility of both players. vengeuR's just trying to find the opportunity to try and catch the Slash off guard. But even then, cypher's just playing this map so well down to a T. Keeping an item control everywhere he goes. And so, right, he definitely can. He can play it fast-paced if he likes. But it does have to be a little bit careful here and there. He can't mess up too much. And you can see cypher's just taking a lot of light armor. It's just been a little bit of a pain. The Ghostwalk will come through, but will cypher be able to find him? No, he will not, but knows his exact location now, as it looks like vengeuR will have to back away and leave that Mega alone for the time being. But even then, cypher's found him, trying to push away. He's on 1 HP again. The 100 damage rocket came through, but it just wasn't enough. As cypher does get the second frag, but even then again, cypher gets the rail off. My word, this is a very well calculated match, and cypher again 3-0. This is why I'm surprised that Blood Run came through in the map pool.
It was a great rail too, because vengeuR spawned away from rail, so there was really no way he could answer back in kind. And that just gives advantage to cypher at the end of the day. At this point, actually going in, maybe he looks half not ready for vengeuR to push in, take the heavy, and oh, hang on a minute, wait a second. That one moment he wasn't ready for vengeuR to push towards heavy might be the beginning of a potential downfall here. It really depends on how he capitalizes. vengeuR has a huge stack, a stack that was taken away by about 100 thanks to some insanely damaging plasma. And it has put vengeuR quite weak. Weak enough that he has to worry about that starting machine gun, that's for sure. Oh, that rocket! I can't believe cypher was ready for that. He was ready for the rocket to knock him towards and set up a rail angle. You madman.
Yeah, he's been a mad lad at this point in time. The tri-bolt shots are looking so good for vengeuR. He's going to have to push around again, but don't get me wrong, vengeuR got 2 nice, easy frags earlier on, managed to keep himself in it for the time being, but we are way past that halfway mark now, but still enough time to play a little bit more methodical as vengeuR is waiting to see if he can catch cypher off guard. But cypher has to be careful with his mobility. Sure, he's got the pace and the stamina to go around so quick, but he needs to be careful what vengeuR could be up to. But vengeuR took a lot of damage there. He's on 60 HP and cypher's all over him at this point. He's going to be chasing him down. Surely this is it, but it won't be for now. As vengeuR's got the Ghost Walk, got the height advantage, but cypher, there he is. He's back again. And trying to find a way to try and catch him off guard, but 10 HP left. vengeuR's been on... He's been so weak on multiple occasions and managed to be able to get away. But as I say that, cypher comes in, and yes, he does. It does manage to take him down with that LG. 5-2 now in favour of cypher, and he's coming in to try and finish him off again. Surely he's about to push in at this point in time. 45 HP left, and vengeuR's lucky to get away with that.
Still going to still make the chase. This movement has just been at 1,000 miles an hour. And vengeuR, although there has been a lot of patience coming out from him, the danger is that cypher is forcing his hand. Rather than being the player that's just playing hyper defensive, he's continuously out on the hunt. Oh, good rockets actually from vengeuR. Hang on. That one hurt. cypher, again, thankfully, he's always able to stop the bleeding thanks to those health bubbles. 3 minutes left of this map, and with cypher just running rings the way he is, this should be a comfortable victory for the first game.
Impressive. My word, I thought cypher was good last week. This week is even better. Well, if there's only one man who can make that possible, it is definitely him. And it's just making everything happen. It's making matters worse for vengeuR. And now it's 6-2 in favour of cypher. He's doing God's work at this point. It's just suffocating him. It's just, I feel like he's in love with the game again. You can see his motivation flow through with his gun skill and how he's trying to rotate rounds. And now he's only on 19 HP. Surely this is another frag. The Ghost Walk comes in, but it doesn't look like cypher will be chasing it down. And my word, that rail was filthy.
The kind of rail that's not really necessary is always the best kind of rail, for sure. And I do agree with what you're saying, vengeuR. Unfortunately, popping the Ghost Walk when he had 1 HP left wasn't really worth it in hindsight, because he dies immediately anyway, and then fresh off the spawn, with cypher playing as fast as he is, he knows the Ghost Walk is down, so he can be a little bit more aggressive. There's no kind of get out of jail free card in effect. And I do agree with what you're saying with cypher. He has the biggest kind of comeback story, I think, of...
Oh my word.
I mean, this is a man that's motivated. This is the gameplay of a man that is motivated. Because he has the biggest kind of comeback story of any Quake Pro in our scene today. Where it truly took cypher years of Quake champions to reach the level that he is now at, where he can really bring it to the rest of the top level competition. He was falling short so consistently that it's just, I know this is only map 1 and I don't want to run before I can walk. It's just refreshing to see him back in this level of form. But he's against vengeuR, for crying out loud. vengeuR was almost completely undefeated in stage 1. And cypher wasn't even in stage 1.
No, you're right. He had to qualify, didn't he?
He had to relegate Garpy.
Yeah,
Relegated Garpy.
That was absolute madness. But even now, with cypher, he's just pretty much ringing around the rosy for him at this stage. But vengeuR does get a couple frags back. But you're right, though. I feel like this is the cypher we've always wanted to see. Normally, when you see inconsistencies with some of these players, it's just due to the fact that with the motivation, it's like a lot to take in to try and regain what you once had. But cypher's just always had it. It's just a matter of how far up the skill tree he wants to go. And he's right on top already from the rails we've seen. But look at that, 16 HP, and cypher again cleans him up. And it's now 10-4 in favour of cypher. But I'm still surprised bloodrun managed to sneak in the map ball.
It was a dominant map number 1. That's all we can really say about that. vengeuR was forced onto the back foot kind of the moment things began, and cypher was just hungry all the way through. And that is one of the more dominant maps that we've seen today. No way you can get a bonus frag at the end of things, but either way, he's going to be happy with that one. And just like that, convincing, 1-0. See if he can make this a 2-0, maybe even, I think a 3-0 would be extremely surprising.
It's looking likely. I'm still gobsmacked with how well cypher's been playing. Don't get me wrong, last week, phenomenal. This week, even more phenomenal. It's just incredible from what we've seen. And he's not done as much damage, but he just kept him on his toes throughout the entire time. And that's the first time in a while I've seen vengeuR look and think, well, what else do I do here? What can I do? You know, he's got such a large lead. He's using slash, so he can easily chill in the nail room, wait for an audio cue, and then start rotating round or wait at the teleporter. There's so many things cypher could do, but he kept the pressure. He suffocated him, kept him on spawn every single time without fail. And it's like I said just now, vengeuR, it's rare to see him go, well, what do I do here and what's my next move? And he was puzzled because I suppose how rare is it you see a slash on bloodrun?
Yeah, and when you do, you always know there's kind of like a trick up their sleeve.
Oh,
it's the kind of pick where when it happens, you're like, okay, I'm onto you. I'm wise to your strats. But you are kind of bang on the money, though. How often do we actually see vengeuR look helpless in a map? It just doesn't happen. Normally, vengeuR's the kind of player that is so insanely versatile and aggressive himself that he's the one that does that to other people. Can't remember the last time I saw him struggle that much. But that is a one map-by-map basis. We're now going on to Awoken, which is historically a very comfortable map for vengeuR. If he loses this, I would almost expect the 3-0 because this is just cypher's day to win, apparently. But this is a hard map to take away. vengeuR he's so wonderful at just picking those really funky angles. One of the best players in the world at catching those beautiful spawn traps. He makes every single every time he funnels you into a spawn or something, he makes it count. You very rarely see him miss those opportunities. And it's going to be the Ranger versus Doom, which is a very staple kind of pick. The Ranger, excellent for just having a threat around the important items. The threat of the dire orb means you can't overstep your mark near like the mega or something, because all it takes is one dire orb in a very small proximity you can't really evade, and it's done. We've seen Doom today really put in the work. The double jump on this map is extremely important. See if Cypher's going to bring it. We'll find out.
Definitely will. I assume, hopefully, it should be a closer affair, but it hasn't been recently. It was vengeuR just chasing Cypher down with that LG and just baiting him out. That was a good bait, but you can see there Cypher wasn't being silly. He knew that was coming, and he knew there's going to be a re-rotate round. So this man's to go back. Anyway, he took a huge chunk of damage there. Cypher's so weak at this point. Must be about 30 HP now. And vengeuR is on his toes. He's after him. He's after blood. He's going to see if he could try and get that first frag. Will he though? No, he won't for the time being, but it's still got a huge stack and is still making sure Cypher can't get anything going.
This is that immediate scary back foot situation. Cypher now extremely weak, and vengeuR knows this is the time to be aggressive. You know, establish threat on the map, pick up all the important stuff, but hang on, there's a little bit of free damage there from Cypher. vengeuR has to be a little bit more respectful than that. And if Cypher continues to pick these amazing angles, deny shots, which you can't do here, vengeuR, only matter of time, right? There are so many angles that you kind of have to give up that early on. But Cypher, knows what he's up against there. Fresh off the spawn near Banana, you know, there's someone going to be sitting there with a railgun.
It just seems like vengeuR was uncomfortable in that last matchup. He's not used to playing passive, and he's not used to having to wait for Slash with the passive abilities. So this is more his kind of setup. He's playing like he normally does, and that was a lovely bait with the orb and the rail afterwards to get that second frag. But my words, vengeuR's looking like himself this time round. He's playing how he wants to play, not having to back off consistently to try and find the right play.
The second you see Awoken, you do know there's going to kind of be some kind of change in game plan, because this really is vengeuR's home. I truly think he's one of the absolute hardest players in the world to conquer on this map. We've seen it before, of course, but there's just this next level threat that he can establish. That said, Cypher getting a nice little two-piece combo. And the danger is, vengeuR, he's now starting to soak up a couple of the pickups near the map, and he's been able to get in and out, which I really do appreciate that he was able to just avoid putting himself in that situation. There are tons of things to retreat down, but the rail doing the damage it does. Your days are numbered, and just in time for Cypher to establish on the Mega. He's now going to potentially be able to cut off here. He knows the rocket launch has been taken. There is no LG just yet, just a bit of damage being peppered. And Cypher, this is a good opportunity for him to really cut off.
Yeah, Cypher's rails have been absolutely disgusting. The last few shots he's taken, but vengeuR has got the top mid control, and he is trying to see what he can get going here. Gets a nice few shots with the LG, but even then, Cypher has the stats to play with. vengeuR has to be careful here, as he will rotate one round. Still got a while to wait for the heavies to work. 12 seconds now, but as I say that, Cypher's going straight in. A nice orb by vengeuR. Surely, no, he cannot. But that was very close to say the least, as Cypher just barely manages to take that out.
Stopwatch.
Immediate rail too. Can he finish it? Yeah, no need to overcomplicate. Cypher's looking good right now. There was an early start there from vengeuR, but it's just being able to stop yourself from being pushed away from the map. You know, being able to fight back. And in this position, is a good position to get a whole bunch of information. He's sitting there now listening out. I think both players have the same idea, though. Cypher knows he risks giving away information, taking the light, but we may as well just stack up. We have the heavy already spawned. Who's going to try and get first take? Cypher in position to take it. Minimal damage as well, and the cheeky little double jump just to try and set him up for an angle. And minimal damage returned, honestly. Cypher able to just establish himself on the heavy and not really be punished super heavy. And oh my word. That's quite bad for vengeuR. He's being really respectful and patient, and that was a really good rocket, don't get me wrong. That one was excellent. But he did allow Cypher to just establish full control.
Yeah, he had 3 defensive rockets in a row there to keep himself baying alive. And as I say, but again, more rockets managed to help him out. He's going for that spawn peak, but Cypher's not having any of it. But he's going to try and back away. He's going to absolutely chase him down. The Berserkers come out and try and catch him off guard, but he's just noticed the Mega's appeared. He's going for it anyway, and does lose out his opportunity to try and burn that, but it does not matter. At least he gave it a shout. vengeuR with one rail is going to try and go for the seconds, but my word, he's really keeping Cypher on his toes, really keeping him at bay around that hourglass area. The LG, but he managed to get another rail for himself. Isn't going to take the chances, go for the second, prioritizes the heavy, and is already on the flank. My word. Cypher has to really be careful here, and the LG is coming through. Both his players on such a weaker stack, but Cypher's got the slight advantage after that, my word. But at least Cypher's now got the Mega to help himself forward through this.
Only one frag separates the two of them too. That's what I find so interesting here. I think it's why both players are so eager to make sure they establish themselves on a lot of these points. You don't really want to give up too much control when there's only one frag in it. You are being quite risky in that regard, and there's a little bit of exit damage there from Cypher. Caught swapping weapons a bit, and yeah, he's in a little bit of danger here. Not where he wants to be, gives up an angle, and vengeuR gets another frag. A nice little opening here actually now. 2 frags in the lead. vengeuR just needs to stay methodical and patient, which he is known for.
This is not the game I was expecting. I expected to be a lot more aggressive in this. Don't get me wrong, it is in terms of the rotations and the flanks, but in terms of the frags, I thought it was going to be a lot more, but both his players have been a lot more careful, and so I think they will be burning the light armor just to make sure Cypher doesn't have any kind of opportunity to stack back up once again. Exactly where he is. The LG fight will come in surely. Yeah, that's right. vengeuR managed to get another frag on the borders. Doubled the lead compared to Cypher, but what can Cypher do now to try and come back from this? vengeuR still has a reasonably good stack. He's going to make things even worse for him. Impressive. And what a lovely rail again through the teleporter. Trying to go for a second, does miss stack, but it's going to not completely chase him down, but just keep that map control top mid in case Cypher does make a risky play.
Stopwatch.
Already now, vengeuR. You see what he can do here. He's actually backing off for the time being. He's only on 97 HP, but he does notice that the heavy's just been up. He's going to back away for the time being, but even then, he's still not giving up mid control. But as I say that, Cypher's pushed straight forward in. It's so weak, and Cypher again manages to clean things up. But he's got to be careful with the scenarios he's put himself in so far. We'll try and go up the stairs and we'll try and finish him off, but my words. vengeuR tried to do everything he can, and that was a lovely rail once again by Cypher. This is definitely his opportunity to try and make a comeback here, as he's only one frag down with the heavy to help himself further. Even now, Cypher's still got a reasonably good stack. vengeuR's still trying to work out what he can do here. But even as I say that, Cypher with another great rail. Mega to make matters worse. And vengeuR's just barely trying to get away. Cypher has the info to exactly where he is, but where is he going? He's going to go top mid, finish him up nicely, and tie things up 6-all. And it wasn't looking too good for him. Was down 6-3. Managed to figure out some of his mistakes, got full map control, and the stack to complement things further. But Cypher pushing in again to see if he can try and finish him off. vengeuR's been a lot more careful with his LG shots, but look at this, Cypher's only on 54 HP, and they both players managed to trade rockets back and forth. That was nicely played, but then again, vengeuR should have probably had that with the height advantage he did have, but vengeuR now does have top mid, decides to give it up, go for the rockets again, and try and get back LG once more.
Lead lost. 1 minute warning.
So good. Only a minute left, and Cypher is up 8-7.
I would like to quickly apologize and mention I don't know how long my microphone's been muted. I was pretty confident my microphone was not muted, but I imagine it has been for the fair amount of time, and I've been commentating to myself. 10 out of 10, Ryan, you idiot. How long have I been muted for?
You've been muted for a good 2 minutes because I noticed and I was like, do you know what? I'll just continue on until he realises.
I thought, the thing is, you were... I feel like I got mixed up because in between your breaks, I would say stuff, and then when I'd stop, you'd go... and then you'd go again. So I thought we were just having a flow, you know?
Oh, don't you worry. I already knew. But what he doesn't know back into this game now, cypher is up by 1 frag. And vengeuR, sadly, he has to stay alive, even though he hasn't got the stack. But vengeuR is so weak at this point. cypher managed to take him down 9-7. That was a really, really close game, considering cypher was down 6-3 with only a few minutes left remaining. But you can never count cypher out. It comes through in the end, winning that in the end 9-7 with a nice little bit amount of damage in comparison, 500 more. But he was looking so clean. But look at the rail percentage from cypher. 23 shots, but had 69%. Absolute madness. But yeah, congratulations to him. It could have been either way, but vengeuR just lost it just a little bit towards the last few minutes.
But to me, this is kind of really just a continuation of really, at this point, just showcasing how dangerous cypher is now. You know, the fact that he dominantly won on the blood run and then getting the victory, like getting the 2-0 with the map that decided the 2-0 being awoken, which is absolutely one of vengeuR's strongest maps. It's why he picks it almost as often as he can at this stage. That's a message. I really think that cypher has sent quite a strong message there. Now, there's a potential to get the 3-0 would be, to me, unheard of, because it would be a big surprise. I don't think a lot of people would expect it. You'd expect this to be close between these two players, but the reality is this is cypher returning to his form and cypher returning to his state of glory, I guess. This is why he's so well recognized as one of the greatest Quake players that ever existed, because when he's on, it's like, I mean, he's champion status, and he's been able to take out some really big names, especially in Quake Pro League, as he's been climbing his way through. As a player who was not here from the beginning, you know, he had to get through relegation first. He had to relegate Garpy in stage 1. We started seeing him in stage 2 and beyond. And here he is. He's one of the highest ranked players in the world on the global leaderboards. And he was not here since day 1. I think that really says a lot about how dangerous this guy is this year in Quake.
Yeah, the man has the history to back himself up in any way, shape, or form. He's won numerous titles, major titles, over the last countless years. And it's nice to see him not just on form, but I feel like you can see the characteristics in some people's gameplay. It's quite a strange phenomenon, but you do notice it, like the speed, the pace, the aim. You can see that the motivation is there, and he's always had it in the past, but it's really, really come back in comparison to what we've seen in previous weeks, previous matches, especially like last week and the week before. We've noticed that this is the cypher which is probably returns like the old school version we've seen him in, where he makes very rare mistakes. He's always fast paced, always knows what he's doing. He's got instincts and game sense like nobody else. And if this continues on, we should be, you know, very curious to see how the stage 3 finals turns out. But, you know, we're only halfway point at this matter of time, and we'll have to see if cypher can close this out 3-0 again on one of his better maps, Molten Falls.
All right, looks like I'm going to be checking out cypher first, and we're going to see what the initial play is going to be. So they're going to quickly take those items. Makes total sense at the very beginning, but let me just quickly... There we go. I would like to apologize for being muted, to be completely honest. I feel kind of bad about that. I stopped to cough. I had to clear my throat while you were commentating, and I thought I pressed the button again. But...
Oh, it's fine. See, this is why we've got...
This whole commentating from home malarkey, Harry, is a bit weird, isn't it?
It is a tad weird, I'm not going to lie. And to be fair, I'll probably do it at some point as well. So don't you worry about that in the slightest. As we go to the first frag already, cypher hands down won that fight by ease, you could say, and gets to heavy to make matters worse. But at least vengeuR manages to get the mega. And he's trying to capitalize, but look at the LG. vengeuR's going straight in. That was very aggressive. Neither player really came out with an advantage after that rocket from cypher, but cypher's going to drop down for him anyway, just barely misses the rocket, and vengeuR manages to tie things up.
An immediate 1-1. That's certainly one way to start our final map here, though. And now cypher. Really good angle, actually. Makes it so tricky. So to go down there to get the rockets, you kind of really need to put yourself in harm's way. And that was a nice play. Double LG. That hurts. And the double machine gun. Get psyched is right. Perfect weapon choice at the end. And it just looks like vengeuR is just having a hard time just staying safe against cypher. You know, you think you're in a good position, cypher's just punishing and making vengeuR almost feel like he's out of position all the time.
it's not even the fact that vengeuR's playing bad. He's playing fine. He's just putting against the ropes. cypher's just playing absolutely out of his mind. That was a lovely rocket, but vengeuR managed to clean things up anyway. vengeuR had a bit of a slow start to begin with. Like, managed to get the first frag, but it was a little bit slow after Ben. But now he's really pushing forward. Barely managed to stay alive, 35 HP, managed to get the mega, but he's going to go for the push anyway, and so he should, but he's got to be careful of the rail. Will cypher get the second one? No, he just barely misses the other two, but vengeuR's still being so aggressive. Oh no, the suicide as well to make matters
I cannot
worse.
believe it. I cannot believe it. What was that exchange? This is just two players going crazy back and forth here, Lethal, but yeah, that was, I was checking it from cypher's point of view during the suicide, so I missed it. That's really unfortunate.
Oh, to be fair, I think you did yourself a favour to miss it because it's something you did not want to see, but that was a lovely rocket there. vengeuR's going to try and finish him off. Yes, he does. cypher only needed one more rail, but I thought it was a little bit too much to call for here. As now he's going to get that heavy. He managed to tie things up. cypher's been very aggressive at this point, but he's going to have to back off. He's only on 100 HP. But as I say, cypher's still been very aggressive. Surely he's going to take him down. He does get taken down eventually. And vengeuR finding his foothold a little bit now. Is he going to try and go for it again? Gets the first rail. cypher does have the mega though. So I think they're going to give each other a little bit of a break here.
Yeah, this is an opportunity to more, I was about to say maybe disengage, but then there's a Pika around the corner that definitely has other plans. But now, if you're vengeuR, you always feel like vengeuR, he's been making it too close for comfort on the previous maps, that maybe this is the point where he's like, you know what? I'm going to try and extend that lead a bit. And he's trying to cut off these angles. Yeah, he's looking for these angles. Unfortunately, missing a couple of shots here that could put cypher a lot more down than he currently is. He's going to get in and take the mega at the very least. And he's in a great position to fight for this heavy, actually. He is looking to push forward. He's not satisfied with just taking it. But at this point, yeah, vengeuR, what does he do? Does he try and establish? Does he try and deny? Looks like he did make the call, but cypher was wise to the play. And that's really one of the things I think we've grown to notice across this entire series is how ready cypher is for every opportunity vengeuR tries to be aggressive in. He tries to push, he tries to go in. cypher's always there with an angle ready, and that was just easy. Made it look easy.
That was a great example there. You've got to remember vengeuR, towards the later stages of the game, he does have a frag or two lead. He does have the mobility of Strog to back himself away, but that was a lovely predictive rocket there. The people come out. Not really too much done there, but he still has the info. He's going to try and push in as much as he can, but cypher is so weak at this point. vengeuR, surely you're going to go in for that. Yes, he will. He's going to chase up as much as he can, but cypher with the rail. Nice to get him back there. My words. He was lucky to get away from it.
You just can't chase him down. That's been super tricky and easy combo. Zero way vengeuR can avoid that. The second that rocket connected, he was absolutely a done deal in that situation. But now, cypher, a little bit tender, probably having to retreat here.
5-minute warning.
Now he's in a good position for the mega, which is a constant problem. And I love the use of the teleporter. Rather than just immediately jumping down near the mega, establishing a rail angle first. And how many times have we seen that all series long, where cypher, he knows what's about to spawn, but he's more confident that he knows where vengeuR is going to be to try and chase it down. So he puts himself in an angle that vengeuR is not prepared for, and it's like just a rail or a rocket. Something that is significant enough that he is then at a massive disadvantage the next time they have a fight.
It's balmy to say the least. It just shows that even after the mobility of Strog, cypher's rails are still extremely accurate, even on the back foot. But as I said, the rockets are coming in, and cypher got the 3 nice rockets in, but it just wasn't enough as vengeuR managed to clean things up, and you have to see what he can do now. Still plenty of time on the clock. I feel like it's already been like 10 minutes, but it's been so quick between both of these players. It feels a lot longer to say. And now we've got 4 minutes left. vengeuR's trying to the odd cheeky rail off here and there, try and get some damage done with the rocket. He hasn't done really any damage apart from that last rocket. Gets the rail off, really go for another one, just barely misses again, but cypher is still playing so aggressively. Oh, finally takes him down. My word, vengeuR is very close for him to say the least.
There is definitely fearlessness from cypher. You can count on that. Some of these moments where most players would try and escape or disengage, and cypher just decides, you know what, I think I can take this fight. But it is the confidence that comes through for cypher. When he's really on, kind of like now, you know, this is a perfect time to chase. vengeuR, not much chance he can escape with his life on that one. Very much stuck between a rock and a hard place. But yeah, cypher, it's the gutsy plays. You just combine this natural raw skill with highly educated decision making, and then when he thinks the time is right to go for a calculated risk, he'll do it. That, however, was a little bit too advanced to push. vengeuR with the use of the LG works, because if someone's going to go in for a rocket jump, they're airborne, push him away, get damage guaranteed, and then stunt their momentum. But this is incredibly back and forth, Lethal. It's a 6-7 here. Not a lot of this final map left to go. It's important for vengeuR to at least get one map win. You very rarely see him get 3-0'd. That is not a common occurrence.
In this league, it's extremely rare. Well, maybe unless you're Rafa, but that's a completely different story. But yeah, you're right though, vengeuR doing very well, so to speak. Still has that mega, still got a large stack. cypher just keeping his way back for now, just holding back, playing passive until he knows exactly what is going on. He does pick up the heavy to help him through, but he knew he was there. He was making out, but he didn't know. But my word, he definitely did. But that was a lovely rocket there from vengeuR to kind of back away even further. But this is what I said, at the latest stages of the map of Molten Falls, vengeuR can easily just chill, wait back, collect the items, and just wait for the opportunity to arise. But cypher's rails have been so good on multiple different occasions. See what he can do here, but managed to get the info, knows it's on the shotgun area, and vengeuR's going to see if he can push up, but at least he tries to contest the heavy, manages to get it, but cypher needs to find something now. He's losing all the track of all the items, he's not really getting anything, so to speak, and the timing of the items are quite close together. And saying that though, cypher's LG is ridiculous. vengeuR's on 4 HP. Surely cypher's going to try and go for this. He's desperate. Look at him, he's after blood, but I don't think it's going to happen. vengeuR's done the right decision and decided to back off.
Yeah, the only exception to not going in was if cypher wasn't 100% confident on how much health vengeuR had. There's always a potential that maybe he didn't know there was only 4 left. But it's also a risk too. You know, make a weak vengeuR back off, disengage, and then when the fight happens, you're a bit more healthy. Some opening rockets are going to be a bit troublesome for cypher if he takes more damage than he's comfortable with. But that rail, important, absolutely. 1 minute left on the clock. He got an immediate rail that put vengeuR in a tricky situation. Got some defensive rockets of his own. vengeuR might have saved his skin with that. Man, vengeuR's rockets, you always forget just how immaculately good they are.
You can see it into the future, I think. That's to say the least. His rockets have just been phenomenal defensively. His predicted rockets have been so good. He's like peeking, managed to get the damage done as well as the info. And cypher is really on the back foot, so to speak. vengeuR's stack's still pretty decent, but now he just needs to stay on his toes. As long as he does that, then he should be perfectly fine. And you can't underestimate cypher's rails. We've seen it all series. It's just been absolute filth. And now vengeuR is just going to play it passive. Probably the most passive I've seen him play since the Blood Run game. And it looks like he's only got 10 seconds left, so cypher needs to do something now. cypher going straight in, but the rockets earlier said, Ryan, this is looking so good. He's got 2 in a row, but he's only on 36 HP. Surely cypher has to go through, but will he find him? No, he won't. The cypher gets taken down. And my word, at least vengeuR managed to get 1 map to his name and not take the series. Though cypher does take the series, but that was so close. That could have gone either way if cypher 180'd and turned around to finish things off.
That's the kind of situation where you very much need to have like a looking glass to, you know, like you just need a crystal ball. You need a crystal ball to think, I'm going to go through this teleporter. You're going to be behind. And I mean, he had a rail at the time too, which makes me definitely believe that he was confident vengeuR was, you know, within one of the doorways and he was prepared to get like a little reactionary rail there. But he didn't have that crystal ball he needed. So it just came down to that final play at the end. Overall though, like, knowing vengeuR, he's not going to be happy with that. I know he got the final map, but vengeuR's not the kind of player that will settle for second place. He is out to win it or not at all. And I like that. I really like that element of just, he's just a young competitor. He's hungry for success. He's tasting a lot of different elements of success. He's yet to get a giant win, especially in Quake Pro League, that is. But I think he's so close to just reaching that, level all the same. And this is a great result for cypher. It's as I've said before, just a celebration of how far he is coming as a player in Quake Jam. And it's almost weird saying that because I'm talking about cypher. This guy's a legend, but Quake Pro League has finally just been his chance to climb and ascend. And ascend he is doing, especially taking out someone like vengeuR today.
Yeah, it just Cypher just makes it look easy, doesn't he? And I still feel like right now for Wenger, he shouldn't really hit himself too much. I know he's young. I know what you're talking about with the mentality. You get some players where it's either your first or your last, or some players will go, "Oh, I'm just going to do my best." When people say, "I'll do my best," or "I'll just see how it goes," that just shows they're not really confident in their ability or haven't done enough practice or training. But yeah, both his players are exactly like each other in terms of how they approach every match or every tournament or every final they actually compete in. But yeah, Cypher, like I feel like we're closer and closer to seeing what he can really do now. Like some of the stuff he did on Blood Run was just ridiculous to say the least. But Wenger, still haven't seen his true form yet. There's still a high skill ceiling, and when I watch him play, he's that good, and he's still got plenty of things to improve on. It's going to be scary to say. I said this back in 2018. Actually, I said he's going to be a scary player to watch and see how he comes. And now it's 2020. He is, but the funny thing is, he's still got plenty more to improve on. And when it does get to that point over next stage or in next stage finals or maybe next year or two, like it's actually worrying to see how good he'll actually be.
It's it was a few years in the making for Quake Champions, but maybe at that point we're gonna see that big championship one day from Cypher that everyone, and especially all of his fans around the world, have been waiting to see. And it's great to see that progression. And it was a good series all round. So thanks for watching so far. We have got another heavy hitter up next. It's going to be the main man Kilson going up against Base with another high profile match of the day. We're almost done. It's been a good day and it's been a chill environment all round. Thanks for watching so far. Just to remind everyone, this is week number 5 of stage 3 of Quake Pro League, and we'll be back soon.